Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to my channel. My name is Zach and I am a day trader. I primarily trade the futures markets. And this morning, Friday, January 16th, I ended up hitting my biggest risk to reward trade yet. It was a 4-to-1 and I was risking $50 to make $200, and I ended up closing the trade for a $207 win. So a little bit more than 4-to-1. But keep in mind, I am a beginner. And I'm still trying to develop my skills as a day trader. But I would love to go over this trade, and hopefully you can gain some value out of this video. Without further ado, let's get into the trade. All right, so here we are on MNQ, and we are just about to open New York session. These gray boxes just highlight London session and Asian session, and it also tells me the start of the session, the stop of the session, and the high and the low of the session. So this is just a nice little tool that I created to easily spot the highs and lows of sessions. What I saw this morning was we had London high, and right at market open, we ended up coming and taking London's high. But on MES, we were nowhere near London's high. As you can see, London's highs all the way up here, and upon the morning open, we got nowhere near that. So we created what is called an SMT divergence. MES and MNQ are correlated assets. One is the NASDAQ, the other is the S&P 500. If an SMT divergence is formed, it can create a strong signal for a reversal. So this is something I was just taking into consideration this morning. Overall, I was bearish coming into market open because if I'm looking to short, I need sell side liquidity to be taken, and if I'm looking for a long, I need buy side liquidity to be taken. So because I'm bearish, I want to trade the asset that is creating the bearish structure, the lower highs and the lower lows. So the first 5-minute candle ended up coming up and sweeping London's highs, and then aggressively pushed back down and closed back in the range. And on MES, obviously we were nowhere near that. At this point, what I'm looking for is a market structure shift back down, because we're technically in a small uptrend here. So I'm just looking for price to reverse its trend to confirm my bias that we are going to go lower. So let's fast forward just a hair. So right here, we have a change in the state of delivery on MNQ. Let's put that in there. So we had this series of up close candles right here, and we ended up getting a candle closure below that series of up close candles, confirming that price is ready to go lower. So at this point, I hop over to MES because I'm bearish and I want to look for an entry. So right away, we ended up coming down really aggressively into the range. We were almost at the bottom of all of this liquidity over here. So this risk to reward would not have been worth it to enter for a short. So I just wanted to see price rebalance to roughly equilibrium. So right here on this wick, let's go down to the 1 minute so you can see it a little bit better. So we come down and we ended up coming right above 50% of this range here. So this line marks 50% of this range. And right here is where I entered. Right here. So I enter the trade, and because we have the SMT divergence, we had a market structure shift to the downside. We pulled back, we created a lower high, and everything is looking good. So I enter the trade, and then immediately we start going into profit. At this point, what I wanted to do was I wanted to manage my risk. So I marked 50% of my price target. So 50% would have been 2 times my risk. So that means I'm 50% in profit. And at this point, this is when I shrink my risk to break even. So let's see right there. On this candle, I shrink my risk, so now we're in a risk-free trade. And now there's nothing else to do but to sit on my hands and let the trade play out. My price target was these lows. And yeah, fast forward, you can see that we just came down and I mean, we didn't have a single green candle the entire time I was in this trade on the 1 minute, which is nuts. We enter the trade and it was just all red candles all the way down to my take profit. Such a beautiful trade. I'm really grateful for it. I feel like I'm starting to get better as a trader. I'm just happy with the way this trade went. I managed my risk really well and ultimately ended up getting rewarded for it. And if we push play, you can see this thing never came up anywhere near break even, and we ended up coming down much lower, which is fine because I mean, this was a 4-to-1 risk to reward trade. So you can see it there. Risk to reward 4. So yeah, that's all I really got. That was the trade for the day, one and done. I hope you guys gained some value out of this video, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Happy trading, guys.